Okay, thank you for joining me with the basic takeoff and landings. This is going to be the HE-111 bomber, heavy bomber. It's actually a medium bomber, but it's the heaviest one we have in the game. So I'm going in this position here so you can see that what the wing looks like normal without anything going on. I'm going to go ahead and put the flaps on full. Normally once you come out of a hangar on the airfield in the game, you come out of a hangar, you have to taxi to one end of the airfield so that you have plenty of room to take off in. In the practice training thing offline, you can do that very easily. Take off from this particular airfield because you're always going to be ending up in this one here, which is wide open, no trees or anything to worry about. I'm going to start hitting the flaps maximum. Then I'm going to go back up here and you can see the flaps. There we go. You got flaps are right there on the inside edges of the wings next to the fuselage. This plane, just like the others, you want to have your flaps on. Yeah, make sure you have plenty of room at the other end of the airfield to take off. Now you want to be able to take off very carefully and a very shallow climb. The reason why, and I'll show you in a minute, has to do with that big old tail at the back end. Now every time a plane is going to go up, and you lift with your elevators like that, and look at the back end back there. Every time you lift like this, the air moving under the tail is moving faster than over the top of the tail, and what happens is that pulls the tail down, which makes the nose rise up. And if you're taking off and you're trying to take off too steeply and you pull back on that rudder like that, the elevators, then what happens is the tail of the plane stays on the ground. It's trying to push down to make the nose come up, and what you're doing is you're basically just dragging the tail, and you're not achieving the proper angle for your lift. So again, we're going to start our plane, get the engines going. You can see the crew members there in the plane. Okay, we're going to hit maximum throttle. Throttles are right here, and hit our max RPM. This plane doesn't have WEP, so you're just going to have to ride it out till you get to the far end of the runway. And fortunately there's no trees here, so there's nothing to worry about. But as you can see, I'm at 150 kilometers per hour and I'm already at the end of the runway, so I need to start my rise and my lift. So once I reach 150, I just barely raise the nose, and I'm going to give you a little better view here of that, what I was talking about. Now watch the tail go down. Let me move this out just a little bit. Now I'm going along. Now as I pull up, you see the tail go down, and a lot of mistakes that people do is they try to take off and they pull back on the stick real hard, and the plane doesn't seem to want to do anything. It just kind of sits there riding on the ground, and that's because that tail is pushing against the ground itself, and the front of the plane can't rise. Now I'm going to go ahead and raise our flaps. Let the plane gain some speed here, and we'll come back around for landing to give you an idea how to land one of these beasts. These are relatively easy to land. The only drawback of this is that you notice that the console going across the top of the window there, windshield, is difficult to look out of. So you have limited visibility here and there. If you want, we're under 300 kilometers per hour, so I can open up the canopy and the pilot kind of stands up and looks out. The other thing you can do with that is it gives you a real good look at your other fuel instruments here, which is the two left ones of the fuel, two right ones is oil pressure. And that's one thing you can do for getting yourself lined up on the airfield. The other thing you can do is turn towards your landing, hit the letter N on the keyboard, and then you can use your mouse to tilt your pilot's head down, and it gives you a better view of where you're coming up on the ground. Put our landing gear down. I just did a zoom in on the instrument panel to see our speed. We're at 200 kilometers per hour. Still just a little bit high, but this plane stops real easy, so not much you have to do about it. Just glide it in. The main thing was just being able to see the landing itself. And again, once the plane lands, we're not quite touching yet. There we go. This one, you can go ahead and just hit the brakes. You don't want to nose pick it into the ground, so I'm just tapping the brakes, and there I just used a little bit of rudder, and I'm sliding it sideways. Now I've got both brakes going, and the plane stops. It stops relatively quickly, so it's pretty easy to do. Don't forget to hit your N key again, so you're back to using your look around. And that's what those instruments look like without poking your head up through the canopy. And then of course your zoom view. I've got other pictures of the instruments and what they are, what they're called, and how to use them. We'll use that and do that in another video on how to bomb with this plane. But that was just basic takeoff and landing. And thank you for watching.